Oh, it's Andrea's here! Yay! Oh, now we can definitely really start. Oh, and we have officially broken a Dave Brenn Show record with Andrea showing up. We are at 25 actual guests on camera. That is a record, ladies and gentlemen. Yes! Andrea, we're so excited you're here. Thank you for being here. We are going to start the show. Here we go. All right. My guest today worships at the altar of They Might Be Giants. He runs an international balloon bag making cabal, and he makes the rudest teddy bear you've ever seen. We're going to talk about all that and more, but first, can I just make my own talk show? Well, apparently I can, and I just did. Hello and welcome to the Dave Brenn Show, the only balloon talk show officially approved by the FDA. And in this case, FDA stands for Flower Clown Does Approve. Because, of course, my guest is Flower Clown, a.k.a. Ron Fowler. Maybe that's the other way around. Ron Fowler, a.k.a. Flower Clown. Who really knows? Nobody knows. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is... Oh! I've decided... You know, recently I rewatched a bunch of my old episodes. And I realized that I use the phrase ladies and gentlemen the way some people use the word like. It's filler. It's just filler. I think that comes from years of doing kids' magic shows. Like, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the next trick? Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, ladies and... No more of that. We gotta tighten this up. We can't have any of this extra nonsense. The show is long enough already. We gotta tighten the show. I should probably stop talking about this if we're gonna tighten up the show. Well, it is the holidays, and here on the Dave Brenn Show, I've been thinking about traditions a lot. And of course, with the holidays coming up, a lot of what we usually do is just a little bit different. For example, this year, instead of gathering together with your distant relatives, eating lots of food, and arguing over politics, instead, you're going to argue with your distant relatives about the politics of not gathering together and eating a bunch of food. It's just a slight variation, but those little changes really matter. And you know, speaking of traditions, we've been doing a tradition here on the Dave Brenn Show for the last, almost month or two, maybe now at this point, where we have our guest reporter, Robbie Furman, who comes on every episode and shares with us some news from the balloon world. And unfortunately, Robbie Furman could not be here tonight. It's actually not that bad because he is on assignment in All Institute. What? Robbie Furman is on assignment in all... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I misread that. He is on his ass in a mental institution. Got it. That makes a whole lot more sense. Yeah. It was the spacing error. Okay. Well, so we're very sorry that he can't be here today, but he did send a report in advance for me to read, and so I'm just going to go ahead and read that for you. Right? Oh boy. I'm going to read as much of this as I can that the censors will allow. So here we go. Hello, Dave Brenn. In this report, we have determined that Jeremy Johnston is... And he is also known to be a... And he has shown that he is willing to... with his balloons. That is all the news I have to report today. Back to you, Dave. Okay. Very weird that he wrote in for me to say, back to you, Dave, in a report that I was going to read, but he insisted I read it exactly as he wrote it. All right. Well, you know, it's been an interesting month. It's been an interesting year. We're getting very close to the end. Next week is Christmas. Last week, I mentioned that I was going to count up the number of episodes that we've done on the Dave Brenn Show, and I finally did actually count it up. It turns out next week will be the 25th episode of the Dave Brenn Show. Hooray! Which is very exciting. I'm going to tell you a little surprise about what I'm planning for next week's episode at the end of the episode. And also at the end of the episode, we're going to have a special something from you guys in the audience. So let's head on over to the live gallery view and see our weekly live Zoom audience right here. Check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see a round of applause from our live Zoom audience. We are officially at a record-breaking number here today. 28 now people are in the audience. We've already broken one record. The last record we had was, I believe, 24 people in the live Zoom audience. We are currently at 27. When we started the show, we were at 25, so now we're even more. I'm 36 people registered, so who knows? A few more people might show up, and we could blow past 30. Who knows? It could be anything. But you guys are here. You're the reason why we do this show. The whole point of me doing this show is to have a fun family reunion with my balloon pals every single week, and I am glad that you're here to be a part of that. But I want you to be active. I want you to be creative. You're not just here to watch. You're also here to participate. Of course, every week we have a balloon challenge for you guys in the Zoom audience. And this week, the balloon challenge is in honor of my guest, Flower Clown. That's right. Flower Clown would like you to make a flower. Any kind of flower you like. Ideally, try to make a flower that no one else has made. Try and get a little bit creative here, folks. All right. So if you just make the basic 6-petal flower, well, hopefully someone else will make a 7-petal flower, which we all know is clearly superior. Right? 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 Good. Okay. All right. So we're going to come back to you at the end of the episode. No restrictions. Usually I put a restriction, but this time I want you guys to be extra creative. No restrictions for you. And in case you need a brush up on how to make a flower, of course, this is a screenshot from a YouTube video that I have to teach you how to make your own balloon flower. Check it out. YouTube.com/Dave Brenn. All right. Well, that's enough chit-chat and jibber-jabber. Let's get to the show. Let's welcome my guest for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Ron Fowler, a.k.a. Flower Clown in the
I'm
house.
off mute. I'm off mute.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Dave.
How you doing?
I'm doing much better. I'm kind of recovered. I'm halfway
Yay.
through my allotted recovery 6 weeks, so it's been 3 weeks in surgery.
Right. Well, it looks like you're back on track. It looks like you're in a studio setting that is somewhat familiar. I feel like we've got a little bit of a mirror action going on. You've got the hat and the juggling clubs in the background. You've got the Dave Brenn Show sticker right there. You've got a little tiny sad Christmas tree just like mine back there. Oh, and your Christmas cactus. Oh, and a baby shark. Oh.
I got my suitcase, because I know you have a suitcase. This is actually my original magic case that I did with my first birthday party.
Oh, really?
Yep. And then I got my Pop's card.
Yes. Did you blow it up?
Jeremy did that for me at a
Oh, nice.
show.
Oh, Jeremy gave you a
big laminated copy of your card.
Yeah, he gave me this one right here. I got this guy. That's my favorite item that I own right there. Bulletproof glass. I haven't tested if it's actually bulletproof.
It's not bulletproof. No.
Well, welcome, bud. How? So we were talking earlier in the week, and we talked about a bunch of stuff. But what ate up probably a decent chunk of our conversation was how completely shocked you were that I didn't know as much about They Might Be Giants as you were hoping I did. I didn't know that Flood was
it
the
seems
name.
like all the balloon people They Might Be Giants and weirdo.
Yeah. What's your history with They Might Be Giants? When did you fall in love with them?
I heard Birdhouse in Your Soul probably in 1990 when Flood came out. I heard that on the radio, was addicted since day one, went out, bought that album, bought all the other albums, never missed a show when they passed through town except for this year, but it's been postponed till next year.
Right.
So, but yeah, they're doing their 35th anniversary of Flood.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that makes me
I thought
feel
on the 25th anniversary, so now I'm waiting 10 years. Well, actually, it'll be the 36th anniversary of Flood because it's postponed.
right. Well, we can just like assume that all of 2020 didn't happen, and then all
Yeah,
the
we could
dates will
just
line back up again. It's fine.
wasn't 2020 hindsight something? I don't know.
That's, you know, and what's funny is I've been looking forward to this year just to make that joke for the last 10 or 15 years, and now it just doesn't seem appropriate.
No.
Well,
Almost over.
I'm very excited to have you here for a lot of reasons. One, you're a great pal.
Thank you.
You're fun. But I'm also very excited to have you here because something that I think you're maybe the only guest that I've had on. Oh, no, actually, that's not true. Jeremy Johnston is the other guest that I've had on the show who I knew probably 10 years before actually meeting because of your YouTube presence. I didn't talk about this when I had Jeremy Johnston on the episode, but I found a video that Jeremy Johnston posted on YouTube in 2007 about how to make like a cute cartoon dog. It was the first time I'd seen a cartoon balloon animal that had actually like the big white eyes and pupils. And I actually didn't know that it was Jeremy until recently, like several months ago. I went back and hunted down that video and rewatched it, and I was like, oh my God, that's Jeremy. I had no idea. But with you, I did know when I first met you, and I was a little bit starstruck actually, which is funny. I really kind of grew up. It was you and Michael Floyd were the two folks who were really killing it on YouTube in the early 2007 to 2012 time frame. And what I loved about your videos was that they were just so chill, and actually that's what inspired a lot of the style of the YouTube videos I ended up making a few years later. It was just you hanging out on a chair, like in your garage, just be like, hey guys, here's a cool balloon, and I just want to show you how to make this. And the video that really inspired me the most was actually that caterpillar video. So I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about like your YouTube like presence, like what that was all about, and where that caterpillar design came from.
Hold on. Aha, there's the caterpillar.
Let me put it up here. Yeah.
Yeah, so I traveled, what was it, 94, 95, went over to Europe, and then June of 96 to June of 97, took a whole year off and backpacked all over Asia. This lady was basically, you see these ladies at the festivals in Thailand all the time, and that's the only thing they make. They make these caterpillars off in the side, in the shadows, and they put them on the stick, and then they just go around the festivals and sell them to the kids.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like, where's the entertainment value? It's like,
right.
It's at that point, just give away, just sell helium balloons.
Right.
But not everybody's an entertainer, so.
Right, and you obviously are definitely an entertainer. What kind of inspired me about that particular design too, and it's kind of in its own subtle way has influenced a lot of what I've done over the years, is that when I saw you teach it, essentially it used a technique that I already knew how to do, which was I knew how to make a pirate sword, right? Which is just like you make a loop and then you thread the balloon through the middle of the loop and that's it. And all that design is a pirate sword with a whole bunch of loops. And then you thread the balloon through the middle. And it was like, oh, that's cool. I can take a basic technique that I already know and just use it in a slightly different way. And all of a sudden I have this whole brand new balloon sculpture. It was really cool.
Yeah, and it's a great base to build off of. I mean, I do other things off of that. I mean, I do you just flip it over and you make it into a dragonfly. It makes a kick-ass dragonfly.
Right.
And then like the end, you can like leave a loop when you loop it through, just leave a little bit of out, and then you can shove a white round in there and split it, and it becomes really cool eyeballs.
Right.
I think I have a video somewhere on YouTube.
Yeah. Do you know how many videos you ended up making in total on YouTube?
I think I'm over 300 now.
Wow. Get
I mean,
300.
granted, they're not all balloon twisting videos. There's a lot of travel videos. Lately, it's all been bag videos, you know, explaining the different functions of my bags and my products.
Right.
Some of it's just, you know, family stuff. I mean, I've been told I should get my dedicated balloon channel, but
Right.
something else I gotta do.
Yeah. Do you remember some of those early designs that you taught? Like, what was your motivation? What were you doing there?
Oh, on the YouTube videos?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'm really good at like improv, even with balloons. So I did a lot of restaurant work, Dick's Last Resort, some bar stuff, and that in the beginning. And people would ask me for stuff, and I'd just come up with it. And if I liked it, I would make a video. I'm like, oh, I got to show everybody this. This is awesome. So regardless of it's balloons or a technique or something with a pump, I mean, I'm always making videos and sharing everything I know.
Right. Well, and that definitely came across. Like, that was another thing that I appreciated about your videos, is it just seemed like you were just a dude who wanted to share something with the world, and
Oh, I love
like,
the
it
team.
was very inspirational. I appreciated that. You mentioned Dick's Last Resort. I did want to talk about that because that was, from what I understand, that's kind of where you got your start doing clowning. Is that right? And we're gonna get a picture here.
That was like my first main gig. So I did balloons 9 years before I did them in public. So I saw a guy making balloons. I went out and bought a bag. I figured out how to blow them up with my mouth. And for 9 years, I did a dog, a sword, and a flower. And that was it.
Right. Just for your family, not for the public, you're saying?
Just during the holidays and that. Like I said, never did it in public because I blew them up my mouth. And after about 10 balloons, I was done. And I was not going to go out and do it in public and then go, no, I can't do it anymore, kid. No, leave me alone.
Yeah.
So for 9 years, I did that. Met another clown. He started showing me balloons. I used to be a game technician at an arcade, so I was trading in video game tokens for free balloon lessons. Well, I already had 9 years of the basics. So about a week after that, I was like, hey, look at this. I just made Bart Simpson off the television. He's like, how'd you do that? Like, I just copied it. And then immediately after that, he was doing one side of the bar district, and on the other side of the river was the other bar district, which is where Dick's Last Resort was at.
Right.
And I went over there and kind of introduced myself to a lot of the bars and restaurants, and I fell in love with Dick's.
Yeah.
I was there every weekend. I had so much fun.
That's awesome. And in fact, I think we have our producers actually dug up an old clip
of
Flower Clown. And when I say our producers dug up, what I mean is you emailed it to me, and then Baby Shark wanted credit for doing the work, so I had to say that. But I'm actually going to play for you right now a very early clip of at Dick's Last Resort. And to just set this up a little bit, you're only in the first few seconds of the clip, but I'm going to play the whole thing because there's a fun little reference to you at the end. So here we go. This is Flower Clown at Dick's Last Resort. And what year was this? Approximately?
Probably 98. 98, 99.
1998. Here we go. Let me start it over.
We're having a good time tonight, baby. That's what it's all about.
Need it.
And if you think that's disgusting, check out this clown. His balloons help him clean out his sinuses. Yuck. All right, we're back live, and folks, are we having a good time? How can I get some beef? I predict you will all have hangovers tomorrow morning. Oh, yeah, I think that's a pretty safe prediction. How did you get your mask?
If you want, I made it.
Yeah.
Check it out. I made it. You have to kiss and hug, guys.
Okay. Well, I don't want to do that. Jack, Cynthia, back to you. I'm going to go inside and get warm, and I promise that's all I'll do.
Oh, my goodness,
Yeah, don't get any balloons, whatever you do. You don't know where they've been.
Stay away from the red ones. Balloon Man is over at Metro Health Medical Center. We'll have an update on him in just a few minutes.
There are times I'm glad I'm a sportscaster, and this is one.
Hey, speaking of sports,
Yeah, hey.
what's going on?
What's going on? Speaking of sports, that was funny. All right,
God, I did that. I mean, basically I was down there every Friday and Saturday night. I was probably doing it at least 20 to 30 times a night. Just do the nose thing, stick the balloon up your nose. Yeah, so basically, I used to do that all the time. So it was basically Friday, Saturday night, 20 to 30 times sticking the balloon up my nose. Eventually, after about 2 years, like the district management caught up on it and said, "This is a restaurant. You shouldn't be doing that here." After about 2 or 3 years. And after that point, I was starting to go kids' parties and trying to get out of the bar district anyway.
Right.
But
When we came and visited you in Cleveland, because we did, me and Christopher Lyle, Matt Falloon, did a tour a few years ago, came and stopped with you. You actually took us around. You took us to a restaurant that, here's a picture of that. Is at the restaurant where you got your start, or is this Dick's?
no, that is actually Tommy's. So that is a very high class place, not like
Tom's, not to be confused with Dick's. Also, Harry's was a restaurant that you went to. But and actually, at this restaurant is where you introduced me to the concept of giving fake cockroaches out to your guests, which I thought was hilarious. I love all your little bits of business, all your little fake things. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was your line with the cockroach?
I'm a very bad influence on children. I pass out cockroaches to children at restaurants.
And what's the line that you use with those?
I say, "Hey, take this. You can get a free dinner at any restaurant, except for this one. They know I pass them out." You just got to play it off right.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. That's good.
But everybody in their balloon bag also gets a cockroach as well. So I've had a few requests not to put them in. And then I've had sometimes where I've run out and I've been called out. I can't find the cockroach anywhere.
Well, I appreciate when you sent me a Bagaloon a few months ago. It was back kind of in the beginning of the pandemic. You sent me one, and it had lots of cockroaches, the little the mini balloon animals, lots of flower clown buttons. I love all that stuff. It's so great. I wish I had any gigs to give them out at, but unfortunately, you gave it to me just as everything shut down. But
well, I mean, one of the bad parts about not knowing about a pandemic is I have actually 2 cases, probably about 8,000 postcards with Flower Clown for President 2020 that I was supposed to pass out all this summer to all the kids. And they're sitting over there in a box.
Yeah, I was pushing for you, man. I was pushing for you.
I didn't win. I don't know if you know.
We're gonna take a quick sponsor break in a second here, but when we come back from the break, would you mind sharing your teddy bear design with us?
I can make it better.
All right, fantastic. All right, we're gonna get right back with Flower Clown in just a second, but first, the Dave Brenn Show needs to pay some bills, and of course, we've got some amazing sponsors. Balloon Artist College, BAC, balloonartistcollege.com is a great place to go if you need to develop your skills, improve any of the skills that you need to run your balloon business, whether that is balloon twisting, magic, juggling, face painting, all of the skills, kind of the hard skills, but then all of the soft skills like understanding how to market yourself, how to talk to clients, all that stuff. Balloon Artist College has lots of great resources for you. Also, Balloon Art Online and BalloonTwisterCookbook.com. Each of those are a great place to go if you want to purchase some of my instructional videos to own for your very own. But if you don't want to purchase an individual video, you can get access to my entire catalog by supporting me over at patreon.com/DaveBrenn. If you become a sponsor at patreon.com/DaveBrenn for any amount as low as $2.60 a month, you get access not only to my entire catalog of instructional videos that I've created over the last 10 years, but also all of the live webinars that I've done over this past year, which I think I did something like 20 hour-and-a-half long webinars this year. It was a lot. So make sure you join me there and support me. And of course, I like to thank my Patreon sponsors every episode by putting a penny in my gratitude jar for each one of my patrons. We've been slowly working through my list of patrons in chronological order, starting from way back in December of 2018. We have now made it to August of 2019, and we're going to do the August patrons right now. We currently have 82 cents in the gratitude jar, which coincidentally, I was born in 1982, so there's a little tidbit for you. We're going to add 10 more names to the jar, which will get us to 92 cents. And by next week, on Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, the gratitude jar is going to go over $1, which is very exciting. So here we go. Let's say a big thank you to my August 2019 patrons, starting with Casey Hen. Thank you very much, Casey. Patty Meyer, a.k.a. Tweedles. Bruno Varon. I just like to say Bruno Varon. Bruno Varon. Avery Russell. Thank you very much, Avery. Matt Stevens. Tamir Lavi from Israel. Heather. No last name for Heather, but that's okay. Thank you, Heather. Dwayne Reynolds. Thank you so much, Dwayne. Bruce Rourke. Thank you, Bruce. You're a big help. And, of course, Susan Lindsay. That's 10 more pennies to the penny jar. 92 cents. Only $9.08 to go before I hit my goal for 2021 of $10 in the jar. I think we can do it. I have a whole year and a few days left to do that goal. I think we can make it. Thank you so much to my amazing patrons. Thank you so much to my amazing live Zoom audience. We're going to pop over real quick and take a look and see our live Zoom audience. They are all busy at work making their flower competition pieces. Don't show them yet, folks. Don't show them yet. It's going to be a surprise. Thank you so much for working so hard behind the scenes, everybody. We're going to come back and see you at the end of the episode. But first, it is time. It is time to see probably my favorite balloon sculpture that I have learned in my entire career. I've learned a lot. I've come up with a lot of designs. But this teddy bear that Ron Fowler makes, listen, I know I mention a lot that this show is not for kids. If you happen to be watching with kids right now, you probably want to just skip ahead a few minutes. Don't watch the next few minutes. We're going to take a look here. Ron, can you please share with us your teddy bear? Go for it, pal.
So like I said, Dick's Last Resort, mostly kind of adult things. I did kind of keep it clean during the dinner hours, but then after that, we kind of went a little blue. But somebody showed me a dog. So basically, it was just a regular dog, and then they kind of took the tail and twisted it out. And I'm like, yeah, that's okay. So like I said, working at Dick's, somebody asked me for something obscene. So I'm like, yeah, I figured it out. So I made one, but we're going to make it here live. So it's kind of what I do. All right, so take your balloon. You want to make, I don't know, a lot of fingers uninflated. This doesn't have a lot of air in it because you're going to need a lot of air at the end uninflated, a lot of balloon uninflated, kind of like a big poodle tail. All right, so it's basically your teddy bear head. So everybody here should know how to do a teddy bear head. Pretty basic. Okay, so you kind of want to make things small. So if you make a big teddy bear, kind of make your proportion a little smaller because, like I said, you're going to need a lot of extra latex at the end. All right, so we have that. So what you want to do is basically about 4 fingers. Make a bubble. Make 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Loop those together like such. Then take this one. Make about the same size. Twist that off. Slide that between the hands touching the feet. Kind of like such. So you have a little teddy bear. You guys can do that. Now what you should have that. That's the important part. What you want to do is pinch that, squeeze it between the legs so it sticks right out the front there, and then you just give them a squeeze. All right, I got a face on this one. But, yeah, so I swear at Dick's Last Resort, I made so much money. This is probably the balloon I've made the most in my career. I don't do it as often as I used to, but then it got caught onto the bar about mitzvah scene too. So I was doing it for quite a few years.
Right. I love him. You taught me that. You taught me that when I came and visited you for that balloon jam with Christopher and Matt. And at the next stop that we did, we had a little after party in a bar. And I was so hopped up on this design. I was like, this thing is so amazing. I just want to make it for an actual adult and see the reaction. And I went up to a couple of dudes that were hanging out at the bar. And I asked them, like, a real squeaky clean, balloon guy. I was like, hey, do you guys want a balloon? And I got the reaction you'd expect, which is, nah, dude, I don't know. It's fine. I was like, no. Like, you'll love it. It'll be a nice gift to give to your girlfriend or whatever. And he was like, okay, fine. and I made the bear, and then I made the thing happen, and it was
Yeah.
like a total 180. He freaked out. He got out his phone. He called his whole crew over. It was a whole situation. It was like the best reaction that I had ever gotten from adults in a bar situation my whole life. So thank you very,
no.
very much. I appreciate you teaching that.
Yeah, anytime you're around adults, that is a great balloon to do. I swear.
Yeah. All right, so I wanted to give you some time to talk about Bagaloon because this is very exciting. You're producing an amazing product, and I know you travel around the world to make this bag happen. And in fact, we have let's take a look at some of the bags that you've got. Nice. Is this the new one? Is this the new mini Aloha?
This is the little mini one, yeah. So this is my Aloha round. So I wanted like a starter bag.
Right.
So I kind of came up with that. I am going to modify it a little bit. I'm going to put some place on here where you can put your Sharpies and keep those all nice and neat. So
yeah, I saw when I saw you post the YouTube video describing that bag, I was like, oh, that is exactly the size and dimensions and everything of a balloon bag that I've been wanting for years, which is just great.
And it's going to be priced accordingly, so it's going to be relatively inexpensive for the newbies. And for the pandemic, this is great because I can get away with using this instead of my big Aloha XL.
Right. So tell me about the process that you go through for making these, because it's very interesting.
All right, God, can we introduce the my partner?
Yes.
Actually, I got 3 partners in the audience.
3 of your partners are in the audience. I'm going to actually spotlight all of them. Let's see here if I can find everybody. All right, first, Pradeep. We're going to add you. Hello, Pradeep. Thanks you for joining us.
Hey.
Thailand. We've got Rose. Rose, if you're willing, if you want to hop yourself on camera, I'm going to add. Can I add another person? I should be able to. Where? Oh, maybe I have to wait until your video is on. Let's try. There we go. I have to wait till your video to be on. And then, is that it? Is that everybody?
Yep.
Yes. All right. Fantastic. There we go. Thank you guys so much for being here. So Pradeep, all the way from Thailand, and Rose. Oh, Nepal. Sorry. And Rose. Wait, Rose, where are you living? I forget. Oh, you're muted, pal.
Maryland. Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah.
Frederick, actually.
Fantastic. All right. So yeah, tell me about the process and what all of these people do for you.
Okay. Well, very basic. Well, let's start out with Pradeep. My factory. I utilize about one factory, which is mine, which is actually in Pradip's house. So it's on the first floor in his house in a room. So that's my personal factory, and then I've got some other ones I use. Lisa and Rose are my design team. I don't do anything without those two.
Yeah.
We bounce everything back and forth and any ideas. And usually when we're in Nepal. Huh?
I forgot Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa and Rose.
Lisa.
So all the time, morning and evening in Nepal, of course, I'm going to bed when they're waking up or when they're waking up when I'm going to bed. So every morning and evening, we're just talking over designs. I'm showing them new things. I'm showing what I did. And then we tweak it, and then I redesign it and then make a new sample. So it's a whole process. But it's
amazing. And I mean, it's a great team that you've gathered, obviously. What's the process when you go over to Nepal? What is that like? What do you do when you're over there? And what do you bring them so that they know how to do what you need to do?
For the most part, I'm actually going to China and getting all my good quality supplies, because Nepal, it's a poor country. They don't really have good quality zippers and clips. And the first few bags I made, I had some issues with the net ripping, with the zippers breaking. So now I go to China and I buy all good quality.
Right.
So it's a learning process. And Pradip speaks fluent Chinese. So that's extremely helpful. You've been to China. I can imagine. That is extremely helpful. So what we usually do is we'll go to EU, which is where we buy it's kind of like the showroom for China.
Right.
Literally, there's a shopping mall that's 8 miles long, 4 stories high, and it is just every showroom for every factory in China. It's amazing. It
Wow.
just blows your mind, the size. And that's just one. There's 3 of these malls in the city. So what we usually do is Product does international exhibitions where he sells shawls and incense sticks and mala beads and that. So we go shopping for me, and then we usually do a couple conventions with him.
Right.
So that's fun. So we're in a shopping mall for a week selling shawls to Chinese women.
Nice.
Yeah, not exactly what I would usually be doing on vacation. And like one of the places we went last year was a tile factory. So we went and saw them making like kitchen and bathroom tiles, printing them, silk screening them, painting them, making them, baking them. It was, yeah. So I don't do your typical touristy stuff.
Right. Let me ask your co-conspirators here real quick. Lisa, what's what part of the process are you involved in, and what's it like working with Ron on these bags?
It's exhausting working with him. When he's in Nepal and we're in the design process, I'm basically up all night long because of the time change.
Right.
It doesn't make sense for him to have sleepless nights because he needs to be up during factory hours.
Right.
And so there's a lot of sleepless nights. And I got started whenever he was working on his big balloon bag, his Namaste bag. And he was looking for an accessory to it.
Right.
And I contacted him and I'm like, there's something that I have designed in my head and just don't have the time or really motivation to actually make it myself. I have the dustiest sewing machine, probably of anybody in the balloon industry. And I contacted him and I'm like, have you tried or have you thought of doing this, this, or this? And like an hour later, he messaged me back and he actually had a prototype and he goes, you mean like this? And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, that's close to what I had. He's like, well, what else did you have in mind? And so I gave him a very detailed instructions on what my perfect little bag would be. I wanted something to take to jams or when I was traveling to see family. And where I didn't have to like grab like a gallon Ziploc bag and throw a bunch of stuff in.
Right.
And that was he named it the Swazi. And that was my first contribution. And
Nice.
I don't know, how many did you make that first year? He made like
6, and then
25.
Then we had an earthquake.
Oh boy.
I think
Yeah,
that was the year we had the
I wanted
earthquake.
it in black. That was the year we had the earthquake. I wanted it in black. And he's like, no, colors, colors, colors. And I was like, I don't care. Make them in whatever colors you want, but please make mine in black. And he did. He made it in black, put gray trim around it. And this is the kind of guy that this man is. He put gray trim around it, and I was like, oh, I wanted it just solid black. And he just wanted like a little something,
Flare.
like just a little edging to it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll have the guy tomorrow. I'll have the tailor take the edging off and put black on for you. And that was the night of the earthquake.
Oh wow.
And I'm sleeping on the couch. I don't sleep in bed with my husband whenever I'm designing with Ron
Talking to
because
me,
I'm
yeah.
just basically up all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sleeping on the bed or on the couch, and my laptop's falling off of my lap, and my husband comes downstairs at like pre-dawn hours, and he's like, "When's the last time you talked to Ron?" And he told me about the earthquake, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And it was, of course, hours before we heard from him. And whenever I do hear from him, of course, they're about to leave the country. He's there with his family, and I let him tell all that. But then he's apologizing to me that it's not all black.
Yeah.
What a sweetheart.
And he has
Ron.
apologized. He apologized over and over again that it wasn't black. And I'm like, oh, he's a sweet guy. So had my heart from the get-go.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your input on
know.
it because I love the bags that you guys are designing. Rose, I want to hear from you too. What's kind of your involvement in the process, and what's it like working for Ron?
I think we started talking maybe at probably Twist and Shout because my mom used to make bags. I had been trying to come up with a bag, and my mom used to make them, but it wasn't a point she could do. So I talked to Ron, and I found this Zuka cart, and I took it to Twist and Shout, Florida, and showed it to him, and that started. And that's what I end up doing, I guess, because like I'm like, I need a deco tool bag. What can I use? And I show Ron ideas, and then we start working on them. And so I guess I get some feedback on, since my mom was an actual professional seamstress, like, okay, this needs to be reinforced. We need to do this. You can use some of this kind of thing. So, you know, I do have some of the input that way, but, and just throwing ideas, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's great. It sounds like, you know, you're both taking all of your experience from like what you actually need on the ground as a balloon artist and kind of collaborating together. It's a fantastic collaborative effort. I want to say hi to Pradeep, the man on the ground. Hi, Pradeep. Thanks for waking up super early for us. I appreciate it. Tell me a little bit about your part in all of this and what's it like working for Ron.
I'm really happy to work for him. Now we start his work after before 22 years, right, Ronnie?
Yeah, it's been a while. We started with a few costumes for myself.
We spent very hard time to make that bags. You know, we've been many places, and the tailors are not good. Sometimes the stuff are not good quality ones. And Ronnie keep going. And I have to convince the tailors, you know, and he want to change this, change that, change this, and that. Sometimes the tailors are also, oh my God, this tourist. But anyway,
crazy. It's got to be perfect.
Yeah. At last, and the help of the Lisa, Rose, and Ron, and I'm able to make, okay, what they say, I have to do that with the tailor. I have to convince them. They want this, you have to change this. Too many changes, many years. And then finally, we have Aloha, Swazdi, Bonjour, everything.
I love it.
It's all because it was the Lisa and Ron.
There are hundreds of balloon artists over here in the States who appreciate all of that attention to detail that you guys do. So thank you very much. Live Zoom audience, can we please have a big sign language round of applause for this amazing team of people that make these balloon bags for you. I mean, honestly, it's just such a great product. I'm really glad that that you're offering that for the balloon industry. Thank you, Ron.
Not a problem.
Ron, you're an all-around great guy. You taught me so much early in my career. I really appreciate it. You're a sweet, very nice, not judgmental person, I would say, generally, at least based on my experience with you. But I want you to set all that aside, and I want you to get ready to be judgmental. Because this is the time, we're getting to the point in the show now where we need to reveal the balloon sculptures that our live Zoom audience has been busy crafting away all episode. They are making flowers in honor of Flower Clown. So we're going to hop over to the gallery view. If you've made a flower, hold it up so I can see it on camera. And also unmute yourself, because I'm going to come over to you and I'm going to ask you to tell me a little bit about your design. So if you made something, hold it up so we can see. And I'm going to pop over. We're going to start with Eddie Daxon first. Eduardo, tell us what you made here, pal. Hey, but but it's a oh oh, that is good. Oh man, Hal, I'm really. I gotta tell you, I'm a little bit upset that you won last week because unfortunately you can't win again this week. But if you hadn't won last week, I would say that wins without me having to look at any of the other.
I don't mind. It's okay.
And your prize is on its way too, by the way. Ron just sent it out the other day. So
all right.
Thank you very much for Flower Dick Bear. We love it. We're gonna go over to Jill Schmidt. Silly Jilly. Here we go. Oh, very cute. Oh, and it's
nice.
350 stem, so it bobs around.
I like that. I like that. I really like that.
That is cool. A lot. I also love your backdrop, by the way.
That is cool.
Oh, thanks. It's new.
Look at that.
That's great. Fantastic.
Like a bit of it's uninflated so the flower can move around.
Yeah, it's got some movement. I like it.
I like that.
Very good entry. We're gonna head over to Green Eggs and Sam now. Sam, what we got, buddy?
I have what's called an Aussie 2.
Yes.
It's the official flower of 2020. You can see the blood splatter where we're feeding it.
Nicely done. Fantastic. We've got Audrey too from Green Eggs and Sam. Oh, fantastic. All right, we're going to head over to Brett Bellacue next. Here we go. Brett, what have you got there, sir? Beautiful.
Just a Christmas flower.
Nice Christmas flower. I like the detail. I like the chrome. Beautiful multicolored flower blossom. Very nice. Little dingle bobbers. We know how we like dingle bobbers. Nicely done, Brett. All right, who else do we have? We got Danny the Idiot next. Danny, what did you make for us?
Hi, everybody. I made a very cool one petal flower.
One petal flower.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, that's the new trend in flowers, I hear. One petal flower.
And yet it's not petal.
Oh no. I don't even know. I'm really hoping that just mere minutes ago you said the words "she likes me not."
It's true.
Yeah.
It's also windy here, so you know.
Yeah. Very nice, Danny the Idiot. I like it. All right, who else do we have? We're going to go to the Eggerts next. Heading on over. What do we got?
Oh, I don't know.
It's a little hangy flower we got.
Oh, very nice.
Flower. There we go.
And
That's
then I made a pitcher plant.
A pitcher plant. Second carnivorous.
I think so.
We've had 2 carnivorous entries so far. Very nice. A pitcher plant and a little hangy flower guy. I like it. Nice job, Eggerts. Let's see. We're going to head over to John Watkins, ladies and gentlemen, who was my guest last week. Check out that episode on youtube.com/Dave Brenn. John, what have you made for us? Flower, clowns, enriched flower. Product of Baby Shark CC. Nice. It's always a good idea to call out my producer when you're competing on the show.
Power behind the throne.
I like the creative take that you had on flower. Very nice. Well done. Baby Shark is going to appreciate being called out.
Oh, speaking of flower.
Yeah.
Hold on. Aren't you supposed to ask me about breakfast?
Breakfast? Oh no, I stopped asking about breakfast a long time ago.
Oh, I got a picture of my breakfast.
Okay, we'll show that in the after party. We're going to go to Sherry Brown Rosner next. Sherry, let's see what you've made. No? No.
Sherry is the flower.
Sherry is the flower. Okay, she decided not to make one. But of course, I think this is the last one. We're going to go see Rob, right? Has anybody else made a flower? No? All right, our last entry is from Rob Belchunas. Rob, what have you made?
I don't even remember the reference anymore.
A crawler flower. Ooh.
Yep. Haven't made this in like 10 years.
That was all the rage on BHQ approximately 2010, 11.
7, 8.
7 maybe. What was the guy's name again?
John Christensen.
John Christensen. Yeah, John Christensen. Also famous for making all the Muppets characters in a way that was very unique. Very nice execution of the crawler flower. Boy.
Thank you.
Flower Clown, this is going to be a tough one. Do you have any faves so far?
Well, they're kind of 'tis the season.
She had a duty to save.
So we're gonna go with the Christmas flower.
We're gonna go with the Christmas flower. Let's see, from Brett Bellacue. I agree. We're gonna give it to Brett. Congratulations, Brett.
Good job.
Won. You're gonna get yourself a free pack of trading cards from the other sponsor of this show, which I haven't mentioned yet, Pop's Trading Cards. Woohoo! That will be coming your way. Brett, do yourself a favor. Send your mailing address over to Jeremy or Laura Johnston, and they will send you your award. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for joining in. Let's have one more big round of applause for Brett and for everyone in our live Zoom audience. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yay!
Ron Fowler, thank you for being here, pal. I appreciate
Pleasure.
it. You are the best. Now, the thing that you have in your hands right now, I don't want to. I want to keep a nice surprise that only the live Zoom audience gets.
All right.
What you just saw in Ron's hands is a product that you probably are never going to be able to find, but Ron has it. It's a special kind of balloon. Comes from China. Did you find them? Is that right?
Bharat. India.
I don't know.
Hindustan, Bharat, and India are the same. India has three.
Well, we're going to ask Ron what that crazy balloon is in the after party. But in the meantime, I want to let you guys know that the theme music for the Dave Brenn Show is by Adi Somek and the Unpoppable Trio. The graphics are by Jonathan Wilson. My show is executive produced poorly by my cat, Baby Shark the cat, and of course is paid for by viewers like you at patreon.com/Dave Brenn. Thank you so much. Next week is going to be Christmas. I'm going to tell my live Zoom audience all about our Christmas plans, but in the meantime, I'll see you next week. Bye.
Woo! We did it!
Yeah! We did it! Great show, everybody. Nice.
Yes. Great show.
Ron, you got to show off these balloons because these are
Oh,
great.
yeah.
You guys are going to like lose your minds over these.